Good evening, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your fourth and final video blog of the night for July 11, 2014. It's around 8:40 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. The sun is going down. It's going to be another clear and calm night, around 60 degrees. And it's supposed to be like this tomorrow with low humidity and stuff. Some sports news to report. The Miami Heat re-signed center forward Chris Bosh to a maximum contract, 5 years, $118 million. Also, the Phoenix Suns acquired Isaiah Thomas from the Sacramento Kings. And also this week and next week, Red Sox play-by-play announcer Don Orsillo on NESN is going on vacation, so replacing him is John Rich, who used to substitute calling the games on the radio. And there's rumors have it that Don Orsillo might be out as Red Sox announcer at the end of the season. I hope not. That will be a shame. Maybe they're auditioning John Rich to be the new play-by-play announcer. Or maybe, just maybe, they should hire Heidi Watney to come back and call the Red Sox games. That will bring the ratings up, way up. Okay? My fourth and final video blog of the night is about a television station in the Boston market. Well, actually, it was a Worcester television station, wsmw TV and whll TV 27 in Worcester, Massachusetts. whll and wsmw ran from 1970 through 1992. wsmw TV signed on the air on January 1st, 1970 as Boston's market's fourth independent television station. And when WSMW signed on the air, it was they showed a lot of local programming, like they had their own Bozo show, and Bozo was played by Tom Mazel, and his sidekick was Gene Sakanuki, and he played Professor Tweety Ford, and it ran for 4 years, from 1970 to 1974. It was so popular for the local Worcester market that it took a year for kids to just get on the show. There was a waiting list for them to appear on the show. That's amazing. Also, WSMW carried a lot of sporting programming. Like for 2 seasons, they had Boston Celtics basketball games they aired. Also in 1971, they carried New England Patriots preseason games, 6 of them. And also for many years, WSMW was home to a lot of local college basketball games. They showed a lot of local teams like Holy Cross and Assumption College, Bentley, some BC games, and some UMass Amherst games. Also, they also showed some college basketball national games that were syndicated from TVS Sports, and calling many of those games was legendary sports announcer Dick Enberg. Oh my! Also, during the football season, they carried college football games from Holy Cross and also UMass Amherst. And also they showed their own candlepin bowling show for 11 years. And also they carried some professional wrestling from the Big Time Wrestling from Detroit. And they carried the syndicated WWF All-Star Wrestling, the WWF's B programming, called by Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson. And also the entertainment program, the syndicated programming that WSMW carried through the 1970s and 80s were like the shows like the Mod Squad and Maverick and Jerry Anderson's UFO and Thriller, The Twilight Zone, Welcome Back Kotter, Kung Fu, Kojak, Wonder Woman, Petticoat Junction, The Phil Silver Show, Green Acres. They showed some game shows like the syndicated $25,000 Pyramid, hosted by Bill Cullen, The Crosswits, The Gone Show, hosted by Chuck Barris. They also showed the syndicated Match Game, and I think they showed a few others. And also movies that WSMW carried. During that time, they had the whole entire movie series of Abbott and Costello movies, and they also had the Bowery Boys and Dead End Kids movies. And also WSMW had its own local news program at 10 p.m. They showed a half hour of news that focused on Worcester area, and they showed local weather and sports as well. Around 1980, WSMW got new ownership, and around September of 1980, they decided to sign off the air at 7 o'clock, and then and the television station became scrambled to show subscription TV pay TV program called Preview, which Preview showed movies, sports, and adult entertainment, and that Preview made us WSMW a lot of money. And then by 1983, most of the programming from WSMW TV in Worcester disappeared, and they only broadcast 3.5 hours a day just to show religious programs and local affairs programming, and that was about it. And maybe occasionally on Saturdays they might show a syndicated college basketball game during the season, and this continued until like early 1985 when new ownerships, Hill Broadcasting, took over, and they kind of phased Preview paid subscription television out, and they brought back the general entertainment programming, but they did not bring back the local news. They didn't have local news at all. They didn't have a local news like half hour, but they brought back the general entertainment programming and stuff like that. They had new shows, new syndicated shows like Mr. Ed and the For Lion 9, and they had Batman and Lost in Space and Land of the Giants and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea and a few others. And by the winter of 1986, WSMW was rebranded as WHLL TV, and the new slogan, "This is WHLL TV 27 serving Central New England," and they had a new programming lineup that consisted of a lot of B movies, but some of the movies that they showed constantly were some Universal movies like The Jerk and Cloak and Dagger and Firestarter, and also they continued to get some more syndicated programmings like reruns of Dennis the Menace and Father Knows Best and Dynasty and Barnaby Jones and others. Around the fall of 1987, the WHLL started to brand itself as WHLL Boston, even though they were based out of Worcester. They were marketing themselves to a Boston television station. And during this time, every Friday, every weekdays at 5, they would always show professional wrestling at 5 o'clock. I remember them showing the old Mid-South that turned into the UWF. They showed Championship Wrestling from Florida. They showed the Memphis territory that turned into USWA, World Class Championship Wrestling, Mid-Atlantic that morphed into WCW, and they showed a lot of the ladies professional wrestling, and also AWA and World Class, and also WWF Wrestling Challenge and Wrestling Spotlight. And also, the signature voice of WHLL TV was David Allen Boucher, who is the nighttime DJ of Magic 106.7 in Boston. And also around this time, they were having news breaks at every hour, and the news, reporting the news was Tima Stelos and Lynn McInerney. And also WHLL around this time, around 1988, 1989, during the daytime programming, they were either showing some religious programming, some paid programming, or a lot of the time they were showing network programming from ABC, NBC, and CBS that were preempted by channels 4, 5, and 7, because 4, 5, and 7 preempted the network programming for syndicated programming. They made a lot of money on the syndicated programming than what they could show on the network for the advertisers. So whll showed a lot of shows that were preempted by the network stations in Boston. I remember them showing the 1990s Match Game, to Tell the Truth, Classic Concentration, Super Password, Sale of the Century, I think Card Sharks and stuff like that. And also by this time, around 1991 or so, that more and more of whll's programming was being paid programming and stuff. And by 1992, there was a change in direction for whll TV. They stopped broadcasting all of their shows, and they became the first television station in the Boston market to a full-power television station to show Spanish programming. First, they showed it for the Telemundo network, and then in 1993, they stopped showing Telemundo and they showed Univision, and they rebranded themselves as WUNI TV 27, and they became all of it was the Univision Spanish programming, which, that still is today. And after that, the only like English programming that would show that I remember was like 1996 through 1999 ECW, and also I think they showed WAF's Real Rock, and that's about it. And basically wsmw whll TV was a very good independent television station in Boston area, and it was good watching it. It had its ups and downs and stuff like that, but it's remembered for like the voiceover of David Allen Boucher, and it's also remembered for the college basketball back in the 70s, and I remember it as watching old professional wrestling back in the day, and it was a good television station. It was, I think it was one of the best local television stations in the Boston market, in my opinion. And it had a good history, and I miss it. And it's good I'm doing these blogs about telling people history about television stations and stuff. And these blogs are informative. And in the near future, I'm going to tell more television stations' histories about independent television stations in Boston. I have WXNE Channel 25 and WQTV Channel 68. Then I have the three independent stations: WNDS Channel 50, WNHT Channel 21 in Concord, New Hampshire, and WGOT TV 60 in Merrimack, New Hampshire. They're part of the Boston television market. They'll be coming on future blogs. And that's about it for the night. This is Rich signing off for the night. Good night, everybody. And at least 3 to 6 more blogs are coming your way tomorrow. And the topics might include the ill-fated 1994 baseball network. There's going to be a blog about more who should be involved in the Sports Hall of Fames. And maybe in the near future, there's going to be a blog about Jake the Snake Roberts' 1991 heel turn on the Ultimate Warrior, what I thought about that. Plus, a blog about the 1-2-3 Kid /6 /X-Pac /6 Pack /Ron Maltman, La Parka, Brandy, and others in the Don Jezebel Tory. Good night, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. Bye.